Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 106 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an absolute honor to be joined by one of the most magical influencers in the metaverse. It's Reece. Hello.
Huzzah.
Ta-da,
Yeah.
ta-da.
I've only got hats or rabbits to pull out of my hat, so I mean,
I will be Debbie McGee to your Paul Daniels, if you like.
might as well. Let's do it.
Or the other way around. I don't mind. I'm not picky. You can be Debbie in this little role play that I'm coming up with. Shame we've got Alex. He would have been a great Debbie McGee. Oh well.
Stop it.
Are you well though?
I'm doing good, mate. How you been?
I've been a little bit sort of chesty infection, chesty cold, but I'm back. I'm back now. Thank God. I was very croaky. I had that, when you get like a sort of sexy croak in your voice. I was like, oh, that's going to make the pod.
Damn, yeah, you should. Yeah, you should have waited. And
yeah, we should have done the pod earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't you say? We could have got a lot more views.
Yeah, that sexy croak. Yeah.
We both need to get like a cold at one point and then do the podcast and just see what people think. Like, is that two new hosts? Like, no.
I'm sorry, did you describe it as sexy views?
No. New views, but I mean, if you want to call it sexy views, you might as well. I don't know what YouTube would think about that.
Oh God. Anyway, well, if people are watching on YouTube and they would like to give us some support, just make sure they hit the like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. Leave us some comments, leave us reviews on your podcast apps, all that kind of stuff. And you can also find us on Twitter and Blue Sky at CrossButtonVR. And also, you can now find us on Ko-fi, which is Ko-fi. Yeah, FI. And you can support us there, help pay for all the things that keep the lights on around here. So that would be nice if you fancied bunging us some cash to help pay for the software we use for all this kind of stuff. Please.
It is completely optional and not necessary. It's more of we've had someone ask about it before, so it's there. It's not something we've ever really mentioned. So if you do want to do it, by all means, you can do. You can leave a little message on there when you do it, which is quite endearing. I read a Golu's one earlier that he left on there, which was quite funny. He said, "Buy yourself a coffee," and then it was like open brackets or a cup of tea, because obviously I'm here and that's my nickname. So I found that quite funny for a slow day. So yeah, if anyone does want to do that, it's completely optional. But yeah,
good. Well, it's been an exciting week this week in the world of VR because thank you, VR Game Showcase people, for putting on another showcase for us and giving us a good lot of stuff to talk about. Once again, presented by Jamie Felton, doing an excellent job, I must say.
You know what? It's incredibly professional. Like, when it is, and
right.
I'm sure when he does that, he has a couple of outtakes. But I tell you what, you wouldn't guess that from a mile off. It just comes across so well. It's like production value of just him, the black background of him, it just works so well. So yeah, want that to keep going.
I swear, it's like the UK's answer to Jeff Keighley, that man.
Yeah, let's get that going. Let's hashtag that, right?
Yeah, no, I think he's very, very professional, very slick at it.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Yeah. He's got a good thing going on over there, and I feel like they did it last year. They did a couple last year, didn't they? They did the first one around sort of E3 summer sort of time, and then they did a more indie sort of one.
Yes,
they did
a second one, although indie, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're all bloody indie, aren't they? Like
I mean, VR is between indie and AA. I mean, you could argue that the IPs like Hitman would be considered AAA, which I suppose is the best way you're going to look at it. But yeah,
sure.
I suppose maybe in another 10 years we'll get fully fledged AAA from all the time.
But this was, depending on how you look at it, this was the second big showcase or the third one. They did end by announcing they've got another one coming in August, so we can look forward to some more summer reveals.
They said it's the biggest yet as well, which is always very exciting to hear.
I mean, that's what you want to hear, isn't it?
We're
coming back in August with a slightly worse showcase.
Yeah,
of course it'll be.
It's okay.
So this was the second or third one, depending on how you look at it, but it definitely felt like a step up from the first one in terms of the reveals and the types of games there. So hopefully this does get more and more momentum. And I mean, I'd love to see like Sony supporting them and giving them some
100%. That'd be cool.
About it would be awesome because you say to Sony, look, you're not going to do your own VR state of plays or anything, and that's fine. I get it. I get why you wouldn't want to do that, but you have trailers for games. Like let these guys show them, because I think like most of the VR community is going to be tuning into this, or at least seeing the follow up and kind of announcements for it. And it was quite good how there were so many games. We'll go through some of the highlights in a second, but there were so many games from Flat to VR Studios who then got their own blog on the PlayStation blog.
Yeah, which was really cool to see.
Talking about all those games. Yeah, so that's cool. And I think what was nice from this podcast point of view, which we try and have a bit more of a PSVR 2 focus, although less so these days, really. There was definitely a lot more PSVR 2 in there. I think the last one they had was very little PSVR 2. It was mainly sort of 18, 90% meta Quest stuff, whereas this one it felt a lot more balanced. It probably is. Probably not
9 or 10. I think it was PSVR 2 games.
Yeah, I'd say about half the games
11,
were going to be on
11
PlayStation.
if 11 if you include Prison Boss, but it was more of an update showcase of a showing of the mixed reality, weren't they?
Yeah, it's just most. I'd say a good half the games were games that you can play on PSVR 2, which is still obviously not all of them. I think all but one. Or no, I think there's a couple of them were PSVR 2 exclusives. So there's still very much a meta emphasis, but I mean that's to be expected, and yeah, can't really blame developers for focusing their efforts there. Although, as we discussed last week, maybe that will change going forward. Who knows?
Yeah.
What jumped out to you, Reece?
Well, obviously the first game that was shown instantly jumped out to me. Me being a Breaches player, someone who really appreciates the Breaches game, and just.
So is this the one they put
forefront.
The 4 at the front of the show?
Yeah,
See what they did there. See what they did
the
there.
forefront of the show. He's that's why you got to have Laurie.
They know what they're doing, don't they?
Yeah,
they know what they're doing over there.
Really happy to see that. Looks good. I'm intrigued to see some gameplay more so than the trailer itself, obviously. But I was excited to see something new come from the developers of Breaches because they know how to make a good game. Breaches is incredibly fun. It's something that still gets updated to this day, which was also kind of shown within the showcase of the Breaches update. So it's pretty cool to see that, and I'm really looking forward to playing that. That was probably one of the first ones to jump out. Do you want me to go through all the ones that jumped out to me, or just want to?
Yeah, go on. Just talk about it.
Memorium.
Well, sorry, on the forefront. So that is not coming to. It's not been announced for.
Yeah, I'll tick them off when they're not coming to PS. So forefront is not coming to PSVR 2. They did an interview with Upload, and they said something along the lines PSVR 2 is quite difficult to develop for. So they haven't, they're going to see how it does, and then they're going to revisit the idea of Forefront coming to PSVR 2. I want to throw my little 2 cents into that, only because I've seen a lot of uproar about it online. Some people get a bit, not necessarily too harsh, but there is some harshness to the developers for this decision. Don't do that. There's no point of doing that. Just don't. But yeah, it's stupid. But I kind of agree with them on this decision simply because I've been playing Breaches now since it came out on PSVR 2. I've been jumping in it weekly, sometimes monthly, depending on how I'm feeling. I think in my playtime of that, I've only come across maybe 5 to 10 other PSVR 2 players. Everything else is Quest or PC players. So I can kind of understand the decision from that. And it doesn't necessarily mean it didn't sell well on PSVR 2. And I don't know what the sales are. I've no idea of that. They can let us know that if they really want to. But it does mean that maybe retention is not high for this type of game on PSVR 2. And it's a fantastic shooter. It's some may argue with the graphics, but it's a fantastic shooter. So I don't really disagree with their decision here. I would like to see it on PSVR 2, though, just simply because the we don't have this style of shooter on PSVR 2. There's nothing like this on PSVR 2. So to get this over there,
they haven't ruled it out. They can't commit to it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are looking into the idea. So
yeah, exactly.
It probably will come like a year down the line, or something.
I think that may be the idea. They'll probably see how it does for sales, and then maybe kind of see what Breaches is doing on there. If it's kind of spiked since the announcement of this, we'll soon see. But Forefront 100% stuck out to me. I'm going to be playing that.
Interesting, it's also on Quest 2. So
yeah, and Pico, which is another thing people raise. It's coming to Pico straight away, which usually is the one they hold off on releasing as well. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It looks good.
Go on then. What else floated your boat?
Ghost Town, 100%. Looking forward to that. Looks fantastic. And I know that's one you're looking forward to as well. That is coming to PSVR 2. But yeah, it looks great. I really enjoyed the room, and I know you did as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So that one, I think it's coming to Quest in spring. So I think it's coming very soon to Quest in the next.
I think it's April time, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So literally in a few weeks then. And then it's coming later to PSVR 2.
Okay.
So again, they'll probably get that put out, get a slug of money in from the Quest audience, and then they'll keep working on the
Yeah, I swear I saw
Steam,
something
the
saying
PC
April.
and PlayStation port later in the year. Yeah, well, I've just seen on upload they're saying later this spring. So whether it's April, May,
I'll keep talking about the ones I'm looking forward to. You could do some research on that. I swear they put something.
Well, just late spring will do.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
April. But yeah, I just hold on a minute.
Too many.
Got to talk about Ghost Town some more. Got to talk about Ghost Town some more because that was my ultimate highlight of the show. Ultimately, that looks so good. And the Room VR, you're right, that's one of my favorite games. So the fact that they're coming back to, I remember saying at the time when we reviewed that backing, God knows what episode it was, right, very near the start of this podcast. And I was saying I love this game, but I would just wish there was some sort of story or something because it's literally
you can
3 or 4
breeze through
escape rooms. There's no plot or connecting thread to it. So this looks like exactly what I wanted. The same devs making the same sort of escape room puzzles, but with a sort of strong narrative. It looks very like kind of Wanderer style in that it's telling a story as well. So I'm so excited about that because that is just pushes all my buttons of puzzle solving in VR whilst telling me a story. The graphics on it, like some of the scenes in the trailer they see where it's like set on that housing estate, it kind of looks almost like photorealistic in parts.
It looked
like
really
that.
good.
And the voice acting was really cool. I was like, wow, looks like a definite step up from what we've seen before. So yeah, cannot wait to get my hands on that.
Yep, 100%. I'm really excited for that one. Hitman. I mean, we've already seen a trailer of Hitman. I feel like this was just kind of an emphasis on some other stuff, so I'm still happy to see that being there.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I already know that I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of like one of the things that's like,
Did they show anything new in this to kind of reassure people, like here's the controls? Because I know that's a big thing
it was
with
kind
this
of
one, isn't it? It's like
showcasing.
they're giving it
It was
full
it
control.
showcased that you can grip a weapon with 2 hands. You can pick up multiple things, throw things. Everything's interactable kind of thing. Using the scope and all that kind of stuff, and it looks really nice. Like the lighting looks absolutely fantastic. So it does look really good. But again, for me, I'm kind of like I've seen the initial trailer now. I'm just ready to play it, kind of thing. So like anything more I see of it, it's like it's cool, but
When you play that, I know it's a massive game. It's like all three games in that trilogy that are going to be playable in VR. How long does each mission or stage? Can you break it down into playable chunks, or
I mean,
kind of hour or two?
you can do a level on it depending on how your playstyle is. I mean, if you go in guns blazing, you're probably going to have more of a difficult time. But I mean, when you play Hitman, I mean, you can go somewhere from 10 to 30 minutes on a level.
And so I've never played a Hitman game before in my life.
Oh,
so
really?
I've got no idea.
Okay.
No idea what to expect.
Well, seeing as you're someone who loves increasing violence and
that's me.
Situations that may feel a bit too close for comfort. I think you're gonna have a great time with Hitman. Possibly.
I can't tell if
you're. It's definitely not a Laurie game. Let's put it there. But I feel like outside of VR maybe because it's not your, like you said before when you spoke about like Strides when you had to stab someone in it, it was kind of like, well, this is a bit much. Well, think of that, but using your wire and choking people out and things like that. It's very close and a bit
quite grim.
Yeah, and I think people like that kind of gameplay, but
I mean, I'm just going to stick to my Penguin Festival game. I think that looks like much more like a Laurie game.
You mean Pingu?
Penguin Festival.
Pingu, the video game, but just couldn't get the licensing.
Maybe.
Do you know what? It doesn't look bad. It's something for it's something for the younger audience, isn't it? I wasn't disappointed to see it. The developer actually, I believe, follows me on Blue Sky, and I think he also follows us. So
oh, nice. Well, hello. I mean, it's a former Alchemy.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So for that reason alone, Cosmonia's High, I still think it's one of the most underrated, underplayed, under talked about games on the headset.
I've still never played it. Never played it.
See, exactly. And you've not even played it. You fucking host a VR podcast, you lunatic. Mind you, you've not even played Call of the Mountain, so I don't know why anyone listens to what you have to say.
I have played. I have played Call of the Mountain.
You haven't you? Oh,
yes.
Oh, there's something you haven't played.
Gran Turismo, because I'm not a racing game. I'm not a big fan of racing sims.
Fair enough.
But anyway, moving on. Second game that really hyped me up, Memoreum. I already knew about this one because it was shown at the Upload VR showcase. Again, this is a Quest game, and it is looking like they have said PSVR 2 and other platforms are in their mindset, but they just go concentrate on Quest at the moment, which I think is the best idea. Concentrate on one platform, work towards another. If you split your development, it's gonna, you're gonna have all bunch of issues. But this is made by the people that made the BioShock mod for Half-Life Alyx, and that was fantastic, and it gave you like an idea of what they can do with storytelling based around a world that isn't necessarily their world because it was Rapture and things like that. So I'm interested to see what their storytelling's like in a world that they've actually crafted themselves, and I think it looks fucking amazing so far. So
it looks fucking terrifying. Is what it looks like.
Exactly,
like,
amazing.
I was the trailer thinking, wow, this game looks amazing. It looks like some sort of
this is definitely a Reece game.
What's the film like? Is it Dead Horizon?
Event
Horizon.
Event
Horizon. Thank you. The one with Sam Neill. God, that's a great film. Yeah, that bit. Mixed with that Resident Evil 3 kind of stalker, the scene they showed of someone trying to sort of use their
laser to get out of the door while some huge thing was coming out the corridor. Yeah,
just very slowly but menacingly, just getting everyone ever closer. And I would be like, nope, that looks like the most stressful thing that I have ever seen. Fuck that.
I'm out.
I'm gonna play my penguin game.
But I've been looking forward to that ever since it was shown at Upload. So I'm really hyped to play that when it comes. And I think they said September, if I remember rightly. Don't quote me on it yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, September on Quest. Brilliant. And then later elsewhere.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely hyped for that.
Yeah, and I wonder, because that could, but we don't know. Obviously, we'll find out, I guess, around in summer what the big kind of Quest game of the year. They seem to have a trend of having like a big Quest exclusive every year to get them through the holiday season. So I'm sure there'll be something like that again. But this looks like definitely a Q4, technically Q3.
Yeah.
A big end of the year release anyway, full release for Quest. So very exciting. We like to see these kind of big tentpole games for VR.
Yep. Go on.
Yep.
You fire off. What was one that got you hyped? Because there's a few more for me to ping out, obviously, but I want to hear some more that's got you going, oh, okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, just the Penguin Festival one.
I'm going to play that. I'm genuinely going to play that. And I know some people are thinking, oh, he's joking around. No, genuinely, I will play that. It looks like a chilled little experience. It's probably going to have really fun moments. And I know, and I've already seen some people out there going, oh, this right here, these type of games shouldn't be in VR. Stop it with that. Come on. I mean, VR is an ever-growing thing where so many people can play it. So to have something that might be catered to, tons of people, and the newts that the Penguin was doing, it just reminded me of Pingu. So, and that takes me back to Nostalgia City.
Absolutely. No, so Underdogs. I'd like to see him good look at that. That's looking very cool. So that's coming out on PlayStation VR later this month, March the 25th. It's coming out. So yeah, next week as you hear this, I think.
Genuinely, anyone that's listening to this, pick up Underdogs when it comes out. Like, I'm just saying that from someone who's played it on Quest. I've not tried. We've not had early access to it. I've played it on Quest. It's a fantastic game, and I just don't see it. They're not going to mess it up. I just don't see how they're going to. So just get hyped for it.
Yeah, and they were mentioning in the trailer they've got all the kind of haptic feedback and adaptive triggers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that one was looking cool. What else do I like? I really like the look of Out of Sight, which is one of the Flat VR.
Oh yes, that looks awesome.
That's the one in second person. Which when you hear something's in second person, you're like, "What? How on earth does that work?" But yeah, you are like you're controlling this girl that's blindfolded, and you're basically this doll teddy thing that you're looking through the teddy so she can put it down places, and then you can kind of direct her and control her from the point of view of the teddy that's in the room with her.
Yeah,
sounds bizarre, but it looks very cool.
It certainly does.
And this is a game that's not out yet.
No, you can get the demo. You can get the demo on Steam at the moment.
Oh, okay, so it's not out yet. It's coming to Xbox and PlayStation and everywhere, and yeah, so it's going to get it's coming out in VR as well. So I think it's coming out in VR on PC alongside the flat versions, and then there's a PSVR 2 and Quest versions will follow later. No release date for anything on that yet, but yeah, it just looks like a really cool.
Yeah, it looks creepy as well. Little Nightmares vibes as well.
Yeah. Very Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
Vibes, yeah, but not creepy, but not terrifying or stressful. So Yeah, just
We'll
the right
see.
side of horror for me. Well, yeah, we shall see. I thought Stay looked really interesting. Probably not a game that I'll play, but I saw that and I thought that's such a great idea. I really like the trailer for that. That's the one that's basically like a virtual
Yeah.
pet simulator thing, and you have a kind of weird little dog fox thing. And as someone who has a 8-month-old
A
puppy
weird
at home
dog
now,
fox-like thing.
no, my dog is a very normal dog. But
Oh,
I was
okay.
just
Just
like,
making sure.
yeah, for someone the way, like if you can't have a dog, if you're too young to have a dog, then this game just looks like absolutely like wonderful thing. The I say the way that they've programmed this dog to follow you around and keep checking the way that when you take your dog for a walk and it's out exploring, but it will always just look around to see where you are and just to make sure you're still there and stuff, and the way that it reacts to you and things. It looks like they've really nailed that with this very cute, endearing dog fox thing.
Yeah.
So that looks like, and it's just like the way the trailer was describing it, it's just kind of like a cozy place you can just go to hang out with your dog and play games together and explore this kind of fantasy world that they've created and take it back to your home. And yeah, I just thought it looked like a really smart idea for a VR game, and I can see and hope that one does well. So that looked cool. Shadowgate as well. That was one. That's another flat to VR one. I don't know. Have you ever played Shadowgate?
I have not. No.
So that trailer.
I like the look of it, and then I saw creepy crawlies.
Yeah.
Yep. Still intrigued, but probably will get to the creepy crawlies and be like, yeah, okay, cool. Come back to that later.
It just that's a PSVR 2 exclusive as well. So
yeah, it was the only thing mentioned, wasn't it?
I think it was quite graphically intensive. Is the only reason why I'm guessing.
Yeah, they could bring it to PC as well. I think if they wanted to.
Ambitious game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that one also I thought looked quite nice. But really for me, it's Ghost Town is the one that be there for day one for. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to fire off the last ones that I really look forward to.
You got some more?
Gong 2. We already mentioned that the other week or the week before that about its announcement, so that was already announced then. Looking forward to that. Exoshock. Can't wait. Looks awesome. Again, Gong 2, PSVR 2, Exoshock, possibly at some time, not at the moment. Titan Isle looks pretty cool. I didn't mind Windlands 2, so I think a new kind of variant of that, cool. But with a not just a bow, but also looks like a firearm as well. Pretty cool. Deep Cuts. Very intrigued by cool, Deep Cuts. That did look cool. It shadow drops obviously on the day onto Quest. Looks really good. I'm hoping to get around to playing it at some point. It looks like it has emphasis of Bone Labs, but also mixed with some other story elements. So I think that's pretty cool and quite ambitious. Again, I'm pretty sure this was meant to be coming to PSVR 2, but now I don't know anymore, but we'll soon see. Some people have been asking in their Discord, and I think it's still a plan. But again, they're now waiting. The new trailer for RoboQuest got me absolutely hyped. Like, I already liked the look of it before, but that new trailer, whoever recorded, edited that trailer, did everything on that, you, sir, or ma'am, are an absolute star in my book. So please, if you want to name yourself, I just want to know who did that. It got me hyped. I was literally watching that, and I was like, okay, I want to be in this now. This looks fucking awesome. So, yeah, whoever did that, you are a master of your craft. So keep at it. And I know it's somebody
gorgeous graphics. Yeah, gorgeous graphics on that one.
I know it's somebody.
The cell shaded.
Yeah. And again, it was another one by Starbreeze. Starbreeze are also the ones for Out of Sight. So, Starbreeze are, by the sounds of it, really like giving Flat to VR a good hand in to do their games. So, Starbreeze have done some pretty cool games like Payday. I know you can get Payday 2 in VR on PC. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see some other Starbreeze games in the future. We don't know. But, yeah, whoever did that trailer, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So, that got me hyped more so than I already was. And then Postal 2. I'm going to mention this one only because, it's another one I've kind of seen a bit like, I've not played Postal 2 for probably 10 years. Okay. It's a very out there game. A very, very out there game. I think it'll be funny in VR, but I also think it'll make some people go, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that in VR. That's a bit too much. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the public reception is of that. But I think overall it was a stellar VR game showcase. It was very well done. a lot of different things there for a lot of different gamers, and yeah, I think they did really well.
Yep, agreed. Yep. Nice touch at the end with some nice discounts as well. Don't know if that's still
that's
available,
true.
but they did some bundles of discounts for some games, including Moss, which everyone should pick up if they have not done already.
How
Get a
have
nice
you
discount on
not?
it. And also Fisherman's Tale, I think that was in there
Oh,
as well. So
that's one
yep,
thing we'd always agree on, Laurie, is how great that game is.
Yeah. Also worth noting, Vendetta Forever is getting some free DLC as well. So I
And
think that's
finally
gonna
coming to PC as well.
Yeah, coming to PC VR, and at the same time it's going to have some extra levels added to it as well, which will come as a free update to Quest and PSVR 2. So if you're a fan of that game, if you finish all those levels, you can look forward to playing some more for free, which is always nice.
Woohoo!
So yeah, cool. It's nice to see kind of fleshed out some more games that we'll be playing, especially on PSVR 2. We also got, it wasn't part of the showcase. They did mention it. I think there was a bit where they cut to the CEO of Flat VR Studios, and she mentioned about Wrath, Aeon of Ruin.
Yes.
There was no trailer for it, but there's a logo. But then it did pop up on
that
the
was
PlayStation blog.
shown last time, though. That
was,
wasn't it?
It was it?
Yeah,
okay.
that was shown last time. So people were aware of that one. They just didn't know when it was likely coming. It's the same kind of thing as RoboQuest, but apparently they're both coming in full, aren't they?
Full, yeah, just during the autumn. But that's such a cool looking game. It just looks
both of them.
Just looks like Quake, doesn't it? It's just like you're playing Quake in
just
VR.
Me games all over. Can't wait.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, I know. Be all over them.
So that looks cool as well. So yeah, all in all, good showcase. Hats off to the team there at the VR game showcase.
100%.
I hope they got lots of views, and I hope they get even more support from devs and publishers next time around.
100%. I'm hoping to see a lot bigger stuff as well. Not bigger stuff, but bigger for them. To keep going. I think they've set a precedent now of what we want to see, as in showcases. So really, really a lot of respect to them.
Wonderful. So that was about it for the news this week, and obviously that was a huge news dump there. The only other thing I thought I'd mention is that Arcade Paradise VR is joining the PS Plus Premium lineup this month. So that's good. And they're adding Arcade Paradise to the extra PS Plus Extra lineup as well. And then if you've got Premium, you can play it in VR, and that is a most excellent port as well. So
it is really well done. The only other news I know of is Quest currently has a sale on their store for some games, which lasts for, I think, just over 7 days. There's quite a few games on sale, some quite big ones that people know of, maybe be holding out of, of buying into a sale game. So that's now started as of the 13th of March, and I believe it may end on the 23rd of March.
I might check that out, because I don't know if you heard, Reece. I have a Quest now.
He does. I have heard multiple times. I'm just waiting for him to talk about some Quest games, which I think we can get to
straight
now.
onto that. Beautifully set up there. Beautifully set up. Reece, I've got to tell you, I have been playing one of the most magical, wonderful, whimsical, lovely games I've played in many, many times. This is just jumped straight in there with, alongside Batman, I'd say, is totally blowing me away and justifying my Quest 3. And that is Walltown Wonders. What a lovely, amazing game this is.
Go on.
I can't remember the last time I played a game that just instantly made me, when it kind of reveals its big trick, it just makes you smile and grin. You're like, that is so cool. And then the whole time you're playing it, you're just kind of just shaking your head in wonder, like, this is so cool, just constantly. So for those that don't know, Walltown Wonder is a mixed reality game. Scans your room you're playing in, and the walls of the room become the walls of this town, basically, and that you kind of build this town, the settlement that builds out of the walls of your room. So you might have kind of just the wall of your living room, and if it's a plain bit of wall, you might stick a house there, and it'll just come out of the wall, and just more and more of your wall gets taken over by these little people, like little borrowers that come out of the wall.
That's what borrowers is what it reminded me of.
Yeah, they start off like breaking through the wall, and with a little tunnel they've mined out of the wall, and you can like see it's like your normal wall, but you can see they've kind of excavated a bit of it. And if they do it on an external wall of your house, it's particularly convincing, because it's like it just looks like they've got a stone, they quarried through the brick and stuff. And it's so clever, because you have these little miniature borrower type people, and you can put your hand out and they'll jump into your hand. And I'm just staring at
How
my hand
magical is
with like
that?
there's a little person walking in it, and your brain, because they're so small, you don't expect them to have any weight anyway. So you can just see this little thing walking across your hand, and it wants you to do something with it. But I'm just staring at it, totally dumbfounded. Like, I'm not going anywhere, mate. You're staying right there, and you're just gonna. You can move your
You
hand around,
live
and it
here
just,
now.
yeah, you're mine. I'm gonna just put you in my hand, and you're just staying in my pocket.
Just put it in your pocket. So you start walking off with the Quest headset on, and you go, "Hello, help me."
Yeah. And then like you have to put it down on the carpet, and like I just imagine you just must look like a complete tit if like my wife or anyone was watching you. Like, what are you doing? I'm just like down on my hands and knees on the floor, just like trying to encourage this little person off my hand. You'd be like, oh, you finally had the breakdown. It's been coming a while.
I'm gonna call you.
You'd
I'm
be like,
gonna call
come
the
on,
GP.
little one.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna give them a call and just see if they can help you.
Because you dot these houses and these buildings, you have like a restaurant and a workshop and a mine and the town hall. You put them all around the room, all any sort of spare wall you have. And so, like at some point, if I'm going over to sort of where I've put the farm, I'm just there in the corner of the room staring at the farm. And like, if like anyone comes in to see you, they're like, "What are you doing?" Just sitting there
I
staring
really
at the wall.
want to see you playing this game. Like, I just want.
It's so funny.
I don't want to see what you're seeing. I just want to see you playing the game, just standing there staring at a wall.
Yeah. And I know you look like a tit because this morning I said to my wife, I said, "You got to try this because I know you'll love this. This is just so like cute." And it's sort of like if you can't play games, you don't. There's no controllers or anything. Just put this headset on.
Use your hands. You're sorted. Yeah.
But like, put the headset on. You're not going to be in VR. You're still going to be in our room, but there's a game going on. There's like the whole room's been taken over by this game. And so I was watching her like going around looking at things, just staring at the wall.
And how did she find it? Like, what was her response to it?
Oh yeah, she loved it. She was having a great time. Oh yeah, I mean she didn't she didn't like sort of progress.
No, exactly.
She didn't really know what she was doing. She was just enjoying going around looking at people and just like poking her head into all the little workshops or the little restaurant and looking at a bloke making pizzas and stuff. It's just all so cute. So yeah, it's kind of like a city builder, SimCity type game. It's very like the game kind of just plays out on autopilot. It's not. You're not having to sort of juggle lots of complex things. It's like the people just go about their business, and then one of them will call you for attention, and you'll go over there, and it's like, oh, can you upgrade this building for me so I can do this, and then you can unlock this. So I haven't experienced any kind of sort of pushback or challenge in it so much.
It's pretty simplistic. It's very fair.
Yeah, and there are kind of mini games like when you have the farm. There's always like bugs that come out of your wall that try and get all the.
They did my head in.
Growing. And you have to just shoot them with a little kind of little dart gun that you get coming out of your wrist. Your wrist can have all these different tools that it can just pop up that are just sort of situation context specific, which is very cool. It's like, do you remember? Well, you probably don't. I don't know, Reece, but when the 3DS came out, it came with those little AR cards that you put on your desk, and then you'd hold the 3DS up to your desk, and like a little dragon would pop out of a Jack in the Box.
Yes.
It was all these complicated things. And at the time, we were like, wow, this is so cool. And at the time, we all thought that maybe this is going to be like the future of games. And obviously, that was Nintendo did that for that augmented reality thing. And then they never did anything.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't do anything with it, yeah.
And you're like, why did you bother putting a camera in this thing?
So you can take pictures of your friends, mate. You know, have fun.
But this kind of brings back that same wonder of like, oh, wow, it's my normal room, but it's being transformed with all kind of crazy, cool, cute things going on. There's like a whole little town now that lives in my room, and yeah, it's just you don't get very often these days, like experiencing something new for the first time in video games. But that is what this is. It's something that just really just is so endearing and enjoyable, and just made me smile. And yeah, love it. It's also my first mixed reality game that I played as well. So yeah, hats off to Quest.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Fair play.
Yeah. So yeah, Walltown Wonders. I shall be revisiting that, and just I could see myself just jumping back into that, just here and there over the coming weeks and months, just checking on how the town's going. I think there's like 100 different buildings apparently you can add. So
I didn't get that far.
Well, I've probably got about a dozen so far. It feels like there's quite a lot going on. I'm going to need to like move into a bigger room.
Just to try and move all the houses with you and see if you can actually do it.
Yeah, well, I did read a thing saying if you do just hop into a different room, you can remap a new room and it will actually replace all the buildings again straight away. But the room I'm in is definitely
that's fair.
The main room.
Yeah, I tried it in this room and it I was doing it on the wall behind me there, and it got to the point where it wouldn't let me put any more buildings on there, so I then had to put buildings on the wall just around the corner where the door is.
Yeah.
It didn't go well because that's like quite a darker bit of the room, so it just started, the tracking started going, and things like that. I was like, well, can't help you here, mate. I'll leave you there, farm.
I've got sliding doors that can go across the room I'm in, so I can make myself another wall if I need to expand out.
Fair play. Yeah, I end up putting it just on the blind. I put houses on the blind. I was like, I'm just gonna have to deal with the off look to it. But no, I had a lot of good fun with it. It was quite amusing. Like I remember when I was holding the actual the miniature person in my hand, and I put it in front of my cat's face. Oh, and I was like, obviously the cat can't see it, but at the time I was like, could you imagine? Like, could you imagine if she's like, I sense something's in your hand, but no. Just it really kind of put me in that kind of weird world that something is happening inside my room, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, very much recommend that one. I don't know how much it costs. I think it's about $20. So I don't know how much it costs in the UK. What I translate to, but
yeah, it's not too pricey.
Yeah. Well worth it though. Well worth it. It's very cool. So yeah, have you been playing anything recently you'd like to discuss?
I have. I've been playing a couple of games. So I tried Rogue Pinatas VR Mageddon, which is a new roguelike. I'm going to say it's a very child-friendly roguelike on Quest. It's, you can play it in multiplayer with a group of friends, and it is literally how it sounds. There's rogue pinatas all around the town, and you've basically got to destroy them, level up, get upgrades for your things, go across, do other things, all that kind of stuff. I played a little bit of it, and I was like, instantly, I want to play this with somebody else because I feel like it's going to be more enjoyable. Not that it wasn't enjoyable while playing it, it's just I feel like I'd get more enjoyment with a group of players. But I was pleasantly surprised of how much was going on inside the game, and there wasn't any stuttering or frame drops. Like, don't get me wrong, the art style and the graphics aren't like the best you're ever going to see in the world, but they're nice, they're pleasant. But what I found, you'd have like 20 to 30 pinatas trying to attack you, and there was no stuttering of the frames, and there's quite a good field of view as well. And I was just really surprised how optimized they've got that. So it's quite enjoyable. I'm looking forward to jumping back in it with a group. Hopefully, me and you can jump into it at some point, and then probably revisit talking about it as a multiplayer perspective. But I think for a game, maybe for the younger audience to pick up, it's not necessarily bad anyway, and I think they'll get a lot more enjoyment from it in that sense. But there's like upgrade trees, different characters, different weapons, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's not bad at all.
Cool.
And then the other one I played was Path of Fury Episode 1, which Path of Fury Episode 1 Tetsuo's Tower. So this came out.
Great name for a game.
This came out today, the day of recording. It's the 13th of March. It came out. And this is actually made by the developer of Trek to Yumi, or I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Trek to Yumi. It was a non-VR game on Xbox, PlayStation. Very great art style on that, all that kind of stuff. And also Nox Noctis, I think, has helped with the development as well. And if you don't know who Nox Noctis is, they were the ones who did Overdark. So, you've got some input to it. It's pretty cool. I think personally it needs a little bit more time to cook. Not that it's bad in any sense, like in like a categorically this cannot be played setting. I just think there's some sort of development choices that I think I would prefer if were changed. The graphic style is that of a PlayStation 1 game, but this is intentional. It's not just poor graphics. It's intentional. It kind of has that organ quarter look to it where like you can see the blockiness of the pixels inside the characters and things like that. And I'm happy with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I think it looks really nice. When you're beating up the enemies, you kind of. So the premise of the game is it's on the rails beat them up. So you fight one enemy or a few enemies, and then it kind of moves you to the next person. You beat them up, and then when you hit them, you kind of see the bruising and the blood sharp on their face. It kind of gives you that purpose of being there.
Lovely.
It's a good little beat 'em up, and it's a great workout. But I kept finding when I was blocking hits, I was either hitting them again, so it was repeating them hitting me. But in terms of like a workout game, it definitely made me work up a sweat. I just feel like some little things need to be adjusted. Like you can't, when you rotate, it says hold to rotate, and that really slowed down the pacing of the game to the point where I held to rotate and I was looking at a wall again, and I was like, I had to just put a smooth turn or snap turn and just make this easier for me. But no, I think with a few more updates and more of like, the customers' input, I think they'll probably get to a point where everyone's going to be happy with it. But no, it's not necessarily too bad for it, and I think it's like £8. It's not an expensive game, and I think relatively, if you want a good beat 'em up fitness game, it's not too bad. But for me, I think the way I'd kind of word it, I would still probably play something like Creed or another beat 'em up style. But it's not the worst thing I've ever played. I just feel like it needs a little bit more work. So yeah, that's
Fair
all
enough.
I've been playing this week.
Fair enough. Well, thank you. Thank you. Another busy week in the world of VR. It's been a pleasure to discuss it all, as ever, with you, Reece.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you again, everyone who is listening and watching to this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please tell your friends and family all about us, like and subscribe and all that kind of jazz. If you want to get more involved, do not hesitate to jump into our Discord and say hello. Now, I've been your host, Laurie, and I have been joined by the one and only Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.